What's going on, y'all? Welcome to episode 63 of the Fight Night Forecast. It's been long awaited. But we are back. I'm back for good this time, so be prepared. We got episodes coming like crazy where we highlight, recap, and cover all things boxing. Let's get right into it. Appreciate you guys. Not quite in the studio yet. Listen, I was ready to put out an episode and the studio wasn't quite ready yet. So, I mean, listen, you boys in his car, in the parking lot, it is what it is. So, I was ready to get back, you know what I mean? And here we are. We're with it. So, I didn't put too much out on it, honestly, because I feel like your boy is probably going to be a little rusty. It's been a little minute since the last time I did an episode was Fury Usyk 2. So, you know, I ain't put it out too much because I'd rather get into the swing of it again until I get a bunch of people, you know what I mean, in chat. So, nonetheless, we're rolling. We're good. We're ready. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate y'all watching. So let's get right into it. Let's just realistically, I'm just gonna talk about the past 3-4 months of boxing and MMA, UFC to be specific, and you know, go over some, you know, pretty much what happened and where we're at on things, and yeah, and then go over some upcoming fight news, some upcoming fights, and then let y'all get back to it. Next week we're gonna get a little more in-depth, specific on what's going on. So with the upcoming weeks. So but yeah, let's get right into it. First thing I got, we're just gonna go through pretty much the past 3 months of boxing real quick, and then we'll go through the past like 3-something months of UFC. So I got Clarissa Shield, undisputed heavyweight titles on July 26th. Had a pretty good performance. A lot of people were hating a little bit just because she didn't do as well as they thought. I think she got might have got a split decision as opposed to the unanimous that they thought she was going to get. It is what it is. She's still out here killing it. Still one of easily the most decorated female boxers out there. Let me make sure, we got a couple people coming in. Let me make sure I got the ability to have chat pulled up here. Let me see. Bet. All right, we should be good. I should be able to see comments now. He said the champ back. The champ is here. You know, you feel me? The champ is here. So I appreciate you, big dog. Appreciate you, man. Hey, it's gonna be a little rusty, you know what I mean? But we're gonna pull through it. So again, we just went through Clarissa Shields. We got Boots Ennis. He unified the IBF and WBA welterweight titles back in April, only to shock the world. He shocked the world and vacated him right after that to go to 154, which we'll talk about that coming up. But yeah, bold move, but man, that opens up that welterweight division big time. Man, there's a lot of people that could step up and take up those shoes now, because realistically, Boots was kind of considered the boogeyman. So, and we got some people in here now. Let's go. I didn't think this many people would join. You know what I mean? You boys been gone a little minute. But I appreciate y'all tuning in. Please hit the chat. Talk to me. Let me know what you think. Tell me what you like the most about boxing this year so far, or UFC, or whatever else. Power slap, whatever else you want. Let's keep going into it. We saw the Taylor Serrano trilogy. History was made with the first all-women's card at Madison Square Garden. And Jake Paul's MVP Promotions is a big person to thank for that. So as much as y'all hate, man, if y'all watch some of the old episodes, y'all know how I feel about Jake Paul. We won't get into it like that, but yeah, you know, he's good for boxing. Yeah, we had some retirements. Josh Taylor retired. Gervonta Davis, I guess, kind of halfway retired and then didn't retire. What else do we have recently? Manny Pacquiao came back. And then what they're talking about, Ricky Hatton now. Hatton's talking like he wants to come back. Let's see what we got. Carter's quick hits. I like your hat. I appreciate that. Matthew said hi. And Carter's quick hit says, and your beard. You like my beard. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, so let's keep rolling here. 46-year-old Ricky Hatton's trying to make a comeback this December in Dubai. Crazy work, but we'll see how it goes. Manny Pacquiao just came back and did a pretty good job with it, so we'll see where we're at. You know what I mean? Let's see what else we got. Anthony Joshua talking like he's going to make a return. There's, you know, I don't know if y'all saw the other day. What's his name? Andre Ward was on Instagram kind of talking some sideways stuff about wanting to fight all type of people, but he pointed out Anthony Joshua. I thought that'd be an interesting fight just because with how big Joshua is, and Andre Ward obviously pretty decorated at 168 and 175. Carter's quick hit, gotta go. Bye. Hey, appreciate you stopping in, my man. Appreciate you. But yeah, so really, you know, there's probably a few other big things that happened, you know, but I'm just kind of going through some of the things. I got a bit of a sad note. We lost a couple Japanese boxers. What was that card on August 2nd or August 3rd? That was pretty sad. What were the names? I wrote the names down. Shigetoshi Kotari and Hiromasa Urakawa, and I'm very sorry if I butchered those names, but yeah, but you know, rest in peace, Warriors. You know, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. You hate to see, you know, fighters lose their life, but that is part of it. Shep said, think Gervonta will stay a few years. I think so too. I think his coach, Kenny Davis, one of his coaches, Kenny Davis, came out on either X or Instagram or something and said that it was a lot of fake news going around. So I'm hoping that's the truth. But a lot of the crazy part is a lot of these fighters do that now. They say that they announce a retirement and kind of come back. One of the biggest ones to do it recently is Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury announced his retirement and now is wanting to come back and fight Usyk. So, you know, we'll see. I wouldn't mind seeing him and maybe Joshua fight. I don't really think I want to see Usyk again. I just don't think I don't think that's a good move for him. But you know what I mean? What do I know? So I'm just a boxing podcaster. So so actually to go into Tank Davis a little bit more, you know, he got, you know, accused of some domestic violence. You know, I don't like to really bring this stuff up in the podcast. I really try to shed a lot of light on boxing, shed a lot of positivity on boxing as opposed to this stuff. But, you know, as of now, charges got dropped, so that's a good thing. Lamont Roach, like his rematch with Lamont Roach, you know what I mean, may or may not be happening. I don't really know. It was August 16th, you know, a while back, but then they moved it to the 23rd. But again, we're not far off from that date either, man. So I'm not sure it's happening at this point, at least for now. But yeah, so I guess I'm, you know, kind of getting into, while we're going to talk about some rumors real quick, man, just getting into some of these rumors. Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney too, there's some talks happening there, but drug testing protocols are a major issue with that right now. So you know, it's going to be tough. You know, they're going to need to be tested, stuff like that. But yeah, so then we got Jarrell Big Baby Miller is wanting to fight Alexander Usyk and is teasing a fight possibly with Jake Paul. So that might, you know what I mean, who knows what's going to happen there with that. It's crazy work. Eddie Hearn is saying that there may be a very good chance that we get a Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul in 2026. And some of these are crazy, bro, but that's just what it is. Turkey Al-Sheikh, he's out here building all these super cards. You know, he's allegedly lining up a very large card with some names with the likes of Canelo, Joshua, Ben, Eubank, Crawford, Inoue, Tank Davis, supposedly a bunch of people. They're trying to line up one big mega event for 2026. So I'm kind of curious to see how that goes, where that goes, and whatnot. So, but yeah, checking the chat real quick. All right, yeah, it's cool. So, I'm gonna go into real quick, just kind of recap some of the UFC stuff that went down. Obviously some big things. Ilia Topuria beat Oliveira on June 28th. You know, he's a big pound for pound threat now. Just kind of doing his thing. Unfortunately, it was sad seeing Charles do Bronx go like a lamb to the slaughter. So it was a little tough, but you know, I had a little bit of faith there, but didn't last long, unfortunately. Was it Rainier de Ruyter shocked Robert Whittaker, and you know, Derek Lewis messed around, turned back the clock with a 35-second KO over Glover Teixeira, which is a very tough fight. So for Glover to see. So then we had UFC 318 pretty recently. I think we're on 319 next week, so that was 318 was super recent. We had Poirier's farewell fight. That was July 19th in New Orleans. Holloway and Poirier fought for the BMF belt, and Holloway won on the scorecards. What was it? 49-46, 49-46, and 47-48, or 48-47. So that was a very, very, very tough fight, close fight. But they had Max winning for the BMF belt, took it. Poirier almost had him in round 2 where he dropped Holloway, and then went in for the finish, but just couldn't quite get him there. But yeah, I mean, it was insane, man. I watched that. You know, the crowd was electric, and Poirier came on afterwards just saying that, you know, he felt like he was a kid living his dream. You know what I mean? So that's the most important thing, man. And for those of you guys that know me well, you know, Dustin Poirier is one of my favorite fighters all time. Definitely my favorite UFC fighter, for sure. So it's just one of those things where it's tough to see, you know, someone you love that much go. So, but yeah, we're gonna keep rolling. We were kind of teased with the possibility of an Aspinall John Jones fight, and then John Jones decides to retire. So that happened in the past few months. Yeah. So, and now we're looking at possibly an Aspinall John Jones. No, I'm sorry, Aspinall and Cyril Gane fight in October, maybe, which I think will still be a good fight for the belt. So they moved Tom Aspinall up. So yeah, man. So, you know, there's probably a few more things that I'm missing here, but I'm just trying to make this quick, kind of run through some things. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a little bit all over the place this first episode, just because I'm catching up on so much stuff. But you know, I promise, getting back into next week, it's gonna be more structured on what's happening this week, what happened last week, kind of get back to how we were before, you know what I mean? With a little bit of stuff sprinkled in too. Let's talk about a few more things with UFC. This is huge, man. This is huge. The UFC signs a 7-year, $7.7 billion deal with Paramount Plus, or Paramount Studios, or whatever you want to call it. But starting in January of 2026, we got Paramount Plus to show all UFC events, with select events simulcast on CBS, which means that it will be on CBS as well, I believe. So yeah, pretty crazy, man. I don't want to say the pay-per-view model's dead, man, but it's looking like it's on its last leg, you know what I mean, to say the least. So yeah, but Dana's came out and said, you know, they don't know exactly the full extent of the deal yet. You know, pay-per-view still could be a thing, man. Like, I mean, I don't want to get my hopes up on everything and just say that it's, you know, oh, pay-per-view's gone, we're not paying for anything anymore. But I know piracy is a problem. And I know even boxing is trying to move towards that Ring Magazine subscription where you just pay for that and you get to watch all the different ones under one umbrella. DAZN, Amazon Prime boxing, which, you know, Showtime turned into Amazon Prime, so Premier Boxing Champions. And Top Rank, I think, has already been bought out by DAZN, I think, so they're already showing DAZN stuff. They're off that ESPN deal, so I don't know, man. I don't know. We could very well see it, because I remember at one point when UFC signed the deal with ESPN, that I thought, I was like, oh sweet, ESPN's going to take this over, and you know, it's going to be different now. But then they ended up doing the PPV model still, where you just paid a little bit less whenever you were a ESPN Plus member. So it is what it is, man. But we'll see where it goes. You know, some of the big, not really issues with it, but big questions that people have are what's going to happen with fighter pay and bonuses and stuff. You know, a lot of people question that, if, since the pay-per-view models are going away, are they really going to try to build stars now? You know, if that's the case, is every card going to be mid? You know what I mean? Are they going to stack cards still like that? Or you have to pay for cards that they stack a little heavier? You know, I just feel like, you know, I heard a couple takes where they said that it could be detrimental for fighters' brands and building a star in the UFC, and things like that, because you're going to be paying the same amount to watch an Ilya Topuria fight versus a, you know, UFC fight night. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of questions involved in just how they're going to do that, and maybe the money they got off this deal is enough. You know, I think they said something like a triple the revenue, so that might be enough for them to be able to coast and take care of the fighters and everything, no problem. But, you know, we'll just have to see where it goes, pretty much. A lot of people have come out and said that it's a hypernova movement for MMA and UFC's growth. So, you know, I think Rogan was one guy that said that. So he's obviously UFC. A lot of people that have said it are people that work for the UFC. You know what I mean? But yeah. So I think it could be good, could be bad. Who knows? It could not. Nothing could change. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we'll have to just kind of check into it and see. But yeah. So let's talk about some MMA rumors. You know, we did talk about John Jones, Tom Aspinall being a possibility, but Jones turned down like a $30 million payday, which is like, I think, the biggest payday that Dana White's ever offered anybody before. So I think we'd be hard pressed to see John Jones fight Tom Aspinall, if we're going to be real. But not going to hate. We got Topuria and Islam kind of in limbo. Like, it's a possibility that could happen, that, you know, nobody's announced anything yet, but I think it's going to be cool. We also got Paddy Pimblett pushing for a big Ilya Topuria fight. You know, we'll have to see kind of where that goes, you know, but you know, everybody wants Ilya right now. It's a big money fight. He's kind of the a Conor McGregor-esque figure. You know, I'm not going to say he's quite that yet, but in the sake of like calling people out and people wanting a piece of that pie, it's very, very similar to that. So you know, people want, it's like Canelo. They want that Canelo payday. You know what I mean? So but yeah, so there's also a possibility that Ronda Rousey's wanting to come back. There's some whispers about that. Maybe fighting Kayla Harrison. So that would be kind of crazy to see that little blast from the past. I saw this cool thing the other day where we were talking about fan dream matches, where they were doing like a poll, and they want to see Holloway versus Oliveira, Chimaev versus Adesanya, and Poirier versus Gaethje. So that's kind of interesting, just like kind of to see what the fans, you know, want. You know what I mean? Thought that was kind of cool. They did that deal there. Let's go into some upcoming UFC fights, and then we'll go into a couple more things coming up. Actually, we'll go into boxing fights coming up after that, and then we'll kind of wrap up there. Let's see if we got any more people in chat talking. So we got UFC 319, obviously. I believe that's this weekend, October 16th. That's going to be in Chicago. Crazy. It's Duplessis and Chimaev fighting. I think it's going to be a good fight. Yeah, I think A lot of people are sleeping on this fight. I think it's gonna be one of the fights of the year, man. Both those guys are tough. We got Imavov versus Baralo. That's going to be, and sorry if I butchered those names, September 6th. That's going to be in Paris, France. Excuse me. Then we got Noche, UFC 3, Lopez versus Silva. That's going to be September 13th in San Antone. UFC 320, Ankailev and Pereira 2. Obviously, the first fight didn't really go the way a lot of people expected, but you know, we'll see how it goes. I think it's gonna be really good. That's October 4th. You know, we're gonna go into more deep dives into these as they come along, you know what I mean? So then we got Oliveira versus Fizayev on October 11th, which is kind of crazy because after that, you know, pretty devastating loss to Topuria, you know, Oliveira got back up on his bike and he's rolling again, you know what I mean? So yeah, so I think it's, you know, I'm glad to see him not letting it, I guess, get to him. I don't know, you know, he's getting right back in there. He very easily could have been like, nah, man, I'm done with this, you know what I mean? But he's back in there. UFC Vancouver, October 18th. No one's been announced on that card yet. No names just yet, but that's cool. They're going to the Canada. And then UFC 321, we got Aspinall versus Cirogan, October 25th. So, yeah. So I believe that, yeah, it's pretty well locked in then on that. Let's talk about some upcoming boxing matches that we are excited for. Moses Atama and Dillian White are fighting August 16th in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I think it's going to be a dope fight. It's going to be Atama's kind of first step into a little bit of a higher class. I don't want to say like Dillian White's like elite level talent per se, but he has fought a lot of elite level talent. So it's good to see Moses Atama kind of get up there. And they're hinting that if Atama goes in here and just kind of runs through Dillian White, that we could be looking at a future Usyk matchup, possibly. I know Usyk said he only has a few more fights left until he's wanted to be done, and I think one of those will be probably like a I don't know, I don't want to say Jake Paul fight necessarily, but like something like that, you know what I mean? Like a more of a big payday kind of, what's the word I'm thinking of? Not theatrical, it's not the word, man. A bit like, you know what I mean? Like a Mayweather McGregor, you know, like the kind of stuff we see. Not like a, I guess a career defining fight, pretty much. Obviously we have Canelo Crawford coming up September 13th in Vegas. Hyped for that. We're going to go into great detail on that when that comes around the corner, which, I mean, at this point, we're a month out today. So, pretty amazing. I never, you know, just hard to believe that's actually happening and coming. You got Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn 2. The first one was an absolute banger, like Cincinnati. So that's coming November 15th, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which I think that's where it was the first time. Could be tweaking, could be wrong. But that's a pretty big stadium. It's a soccer stadium, I believe. So, yeah, so then I mean, just recently announced you got Jaron Ennis possibly versus Virgil Ortiz coming in early 2026. They've also hinted at him fighting, who was that I just saw the other day? Actually, I think they might have, let me double check. I gotta look that up. I think just as of like the past like day or so, I think it might have just happened yesterday. Jaron Boots Ennis is set to make his 154-pound debut on October 11th against Uisma Lima in Philadelphia at the Wells Fargo Center. That was just announced, I believe, yesterday. So sorry about that, but there's still a possibility though that the fight with Virgil Ortiz could happen, and possibly, I mean, maybe it's at 154, maybe it's at 147. I don't know. I think it's probably gonna be 54 though. So, but yeah. So again, like we were talking earlier, he vacated his belts and whatnot, and went up to 54. So cool. Let's keep rolling here. Yeah, and then again, I it's not like legit, I guess, but I think we're probably gonna see Davis Roach too by the end of the year. I think. I mean, it's saying it's a possibility that it could be August 30th maybe. I mean, that's still pretty close. I would say, you know, keep that one in your books maybe till further notice. I think we might see that maybe more like around October-ish. Maybe they're waiting until after the Canelo Crawford fight. I don't know. I mean, maybe that's just, I'm not sure. Maybe there's too much hype around that right now. I know Davis was dealing with a lot of stuff. It just was weird because, you know, you figured they do the whole presser tour, stuff like that. I'd be very surprised if they just pop up out of the mix. But everything's been kind of mad weird with them since that, you know, getting the grease in the eye in the last fight and taking the knee and stuff. It's just been mad weird. Tank Davis has been super quiet on social media. Maybe that just means he's just in the gym grinding. Maybe he's tired of the hype. You know, he's talked multiple times about as soon as he's done with with boxing, he's out of here. He said you'll never see him again. So I don't know, man. He's made his money. Maybe he's over it. I don't know. So nonetheless, but we'll be on the lookout for that, and we'll definitely cover that. You know, when it comes. So all right, listen. 25 minutes, you boy. I just wanted to get something out, man. It's been a little minute since I've been here. You know, and I'm so happy to be back. I've been excited about this for the past couple weeks, that I knew that I was going to be able to put an episode back out. Again, next week I'm planning to be in the studio. It's almost fully done. It's all built out. I just have to finish a couple small things. Trying to add a desk, trying to add lighting, things like that. But it's going to be like a very good, hopefully professional look compared to what, you know, we've done in the past. So I'm very excited about it, and there's big things coming, guys. I appreciate y'all that have stuck with me over these you know, breaks and over the past couple years. It really means a lot to me that like 10 or 12 people ended up in the live today. I couldn't believe that. And the gang's still been growing even while I haven't been putting out episodes. So, you know, God is good. I appreciate, you know, you guys. I appreciate all the people that have reached out and were like, man, you know, about time you came back. So it really does mean a lot. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys made it to the end here, I appreciate you. You know, like, comment, subscribe, share with another fight fan, you know what I mean? I appreciate you guys so much. I will see y'all again next week. We're gonna stick probably with Wednesdays around 7 o'clock. Today I was a little late just because I had to get a couple things set back up with my YouTube live and stuff. But we are back and rolling and good, and that's the plan, to keep it rolling. So but yeah, love y'all so much. Y'all got anything, you know what I mean, hit me up. You know where I'm at. So hope you guys have a good rest of your night. Peace.